All right, so get ready because today we are going deep on something pretty interesting. It's about how much our surroundings can shape our choices and habits. And, it turns out willpower maybe isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, so you guys have sent in some really cool stuff this time around, parts of a book about habits, diagrams of a cafeteria, even
Hmm.
some research studies. So it's like we're going to kind of like put together a puzzle.
Yeah, a puzzle about like how much our environment really influences us
Yeah, exactly.
versus our own choices.
Right, right.
Uh-huh.
So where should we start with this puzzle?
Well, let's start with a story, a case study about Anne Thorndike.
Okay.
She's a physician who was really interested in trying to improve the eating habits at a hospital cafeteria.
Okay, a hospital cafeteria, not exactly the first place you think of when you think of like healthy eating.
Right, exactly. But that's what makes this so fascinating because instead of, giving lectures or pamphlets, she just changed the environment itself.
And actually, we have the before and after diagrams of the cafeteria, and it's kind of wild. So before you walk in, and soda is right there front and center in your face. And after she moved the soda to a different spot and put water bottles right where the soda used to be.
And it's amazing how much of a difference that made.
Yeah.
Just by rearranging things, soda sales went down by 11.4%, while water sales went up by 25.8%.
Wow.
And here's the really crazy part. Nobody said anything to anybody who was eating there.
Wow. So no guilt trips, no lectures, just moving stuff around.
Exactly. It's like the secret superpower of the environment.
Yeah, that is super impressive. It really makes you think what other like invisible things are going on out there that shape our choices every day.
Right. That's the big question. And that's where this equation comes in. It's called Kurt-Lewin's equation.
Correct.
And it looks like this B equals FPE.
All right, break that down for us. What does that even mean?
Okay, so it means behavior, and that's the B is a function, and that's the F of both the person that's P and their environment, the E. So how we act isn't just about who we are, but also about where we are.
So in the cafeteria, it wasn't like people suddenly all decided to be healthy. It's just that healthy choice was like right there, easy peasy.
Exactly, it was the obvious choice.
Yeah.
And you know what's so interesting? Our surroundings, they're kind of sneaky. Like they can be this constant little pressure on us,
It's true.
making us do certain things without even realizing it.
Like I'm thinking about that thing from the book, the suggestion impulse buying,
Yes.
where we buy things just because they're like right there, not because we actually need them.
Oh, totally. Like those displays at the end of the grocery aisle
Bruh.
or the candy at the checkout. It's all meant to make you grab something.
Right. It's like they know how our brains work.
They do. It's not always a bad thing, though.
Hmm. Okay, how so?
Well, have you heard of the fly in the urinal experiment?
No, I haven't. What is that?
So at the Amsterdam airport Schiphol, they put stickers that look like flies in the urinals to encourage guys to aim better.
Okay, that is interesting. Why flies, though?
Apparently, men are more likely to aim if they have a target.
Huh. I guess that makes sense. So they added the flies as targets and what happened?
Spillage went down by 8% just
Wow.
from these little stickers.
That's crazy. Wow. So we've got soda and flies who knew little changes could do so much.
Right. And it makes you wonder if like bigger changes have an even bigger effect.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually,
Yeah.
the book mentions that it can be easier to like build a new habit if you're in a totally new environment.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. When you're somewhere new, there's no like old cues or associations. It's a fresh start.
So like if I always snack on the couch in my old apartment, if I move to a new place, maybe I won't snack as much because I don't have that same couch anymore.
Exactly. The couch isn't like telling you to snack anymore. And there's this example in the book about a writer.
Okay.
He just couldn't get any work done at home.
Yeah, I feel that.
He was always distracted, but then he got an office, a separate space just for writing, and he was so much more productive.
Sometimes you just need to change the scenery. You know?
It's true. And it's not just about the physical space either.
What do you mean?
It's also about mental context.
Okay.
Even if you can't like physically change your surroundings, you can change how you think about them.
This is so kind of mystical.
I know.
How do you do that?
Well, our brains are wired to connect certain places and times with certain behaviors, like
Yeah.
your desk becomes your work zone, the couch is for relaxing, the bed is for sleeping.
Right.
So what happens if those lines get blurred?
Interesting. Yeah. Like if I try to work from my bed, is that why I end up taking a nap instead?
Maybe your brain's getting mixed signals. It's
Yeah.
like trying to speak two languages at once. It just gets messy.
Uh-huh. So how do we keep those boundaries clear?
Uh,
Especially these days when work and life and everything kind of blends together.
well, it's about being mindful of how we use our space and our devices. Like take smartphones, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Super useful, but also super distracting.
Tell me about it. I get
Yep.
sucked into the social media black hole all the time.
Right. So maybe the trick is to assign different purposes to different devices, you know?
Okay. I
Like
like that.
like your laptop is for work only, your tablet is for reading, your phone is for calls and essential apps only.
So it's like creating these little mental dividers in your brain.
Exactly. Like, okay, brain time to focus. No funny cat videos allowed.
I need that reminder. Sometimes this is making me realize that I've been thinking about my environment all wrong. It's not just about decluttering. It's about using everything in my space intentionally, you know?
And the best part is you don't need to like completely overhaul your life. Just small changes can make a difference.
So if someone's listening to this and they're like, yeah, I need to revamp my space, where should they even start?
Just start paying attention.
Right.
Look around and notice what things are triggering your habits, good or bad.
So it's like doing an environment audit.
Exactly. Once you know what the cues are, you can start making changes, rearrange furniture, declutter your desk, maybe set up a phone charging station outside your bedroom.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about those really stubborn bad habits? Like, let's say I'm trying to eat less sugar, but my kitchen is like a candy store.
Well, in that case, make the bad choice less convenient. If you don't want to eat sugar, don't keep it in your house out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, that's a classic for a reason, right?
Exactly. And if you're always checking your phone, put it in a drawer while you're working. Make the good choices easier and the bad choices harder.
I like that stack the deck in your favor. It's like you're playing a little mind game with yourself, using your environment as the game board.
Exactly.
But what about those times when you can't actually change your environment? Like if you're stuck in a boring meeting or waiting in a long line.
That's where mental context comes in. You might not be able to change your surroundings,
Right.
but you can change how you think about them.
Okay, this is where I need you to break it down for me. Like, do I need to start meditating?
No, it's not that complicated. Think about simple things that help you create a mental context.
Okay, like,
Like listen to upbeat music, read an inspiring book, or just visualize yourself in a better environment.
so like a mental escape hatch. I'm stuck in this meeting, but in my mind, I'm on a beach somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're shifting your focus, tricking your brain into thinking you're somewhere else.
I love that.
It can help you manage your mood, stay focused, even find some joy in a not-so-fun situation.
So even when we feel stuck, we still have some control.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can't always control what happens around us,
Right.
but we can control what happens inside us, our mindset, our reactions.
This has been mind-blowing. I had no idea there was so much to this whole environment design thing.
Yeah, it really is like wild how much our environment like shapes us without us even realizing.
It's true. It's like this constant back and forth between us and the world around us.
Totally. So, okay, before we wrap up this awesome deep dive, let's like recap what we've learned so far. I think one of the biggest things is that even tiny changes can have a huge impact on our behavior.
Yeah, like it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
A small change can set off a whole chain of events. Exactly. And then there's the whole thing about context.
Yeah.
Our brains are always connecting certain places and times with certain things we do.
And the cool thing is we can actually use that to our advantage.
Right. Like if you want to start a new habit, try doing it in a new environment or even just create a new mental context.
Exactly.
And I think the most important thing is that we're not powerless.
Mm.
We can actually design our environment to help us reach our goals.
It's empowering, right? We're not just reacting to our environment, we're shaping it.
So to everyone listening, I have a little challenge for you. Take a look around your own space and think about what cues are shaping your choices. Are they helping you or holding you back?
And don't be afraid to experiment. Rearrange some furniture, declutter a space, create a dedicated zone for certain activities.
You might be surprised by what happens. Even small tweaks can make a big difference.
Totally. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about creating an environment that supports you and helps you be your best self.
This has been such an amazing conversation. I'm already thinking about how I can redesign my own space.
That's great. Keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep diving deep. There's so much to learn about how our minds and our environments work together.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap
Yep.
up this deep dive until next time. Keep those brains engaged and those environments optimized.